After a breakout season at TCU in his sophomore year, Eric Collins decided that he needed to change the scenery. Despite leading the nation in almost every single wide receiver category, he was still looked down upon from the NFL scouts because they thought he was a system player. Even after coming in second place in the Heisman Watch and also winning a national college football championship in his sophomore year, Eric Collins thought that he needed to play at the outside wide receiver to prove his NFL worthy. With most NFL scouts mocking Eric Collins to be a third-round pick in this upcoming NFL draft, he knew he had to prove his worth as an outside wide receiver and show he could do much more on the field than be in a scheme. The nation has never seen this good of a player ever enter the transfer portal, and Eric Collins was gauging a lot of interest. He would end up choosing LSU, where he thought this was the best chance for him to become a true NFL wide receiver and also build his draft resume coming into the next season. With LSU's first game of the year being against TCU, Eric Collins knew he had to get his revenge, so all season long, he was working as that outside wide receiver role to perfect his craft and better his route tree as an outside number one. Even after landing a top wide receiver in the transfer portal, LSU is still ranked outside the top 25 going into the season, and we were considered underdogs. Although our coach promised the outside role, and that's the reason why we transferred to LSU, we would start this game as a slot wide receiver, and Eric Collins was not happy. Looking to shake that off of his mind, Eric Collins would look to have a great game as he is still playing his old team, and they knew a lot of his routes that he would run and how he would run his routes, and our offense is looking amazing as our quarterback would find our other wide receiver for a slant, and we have a 7-point lead. After getting a stop on defense, we're looking to put some more points on the board as we know we're playing one of the best offensive teams in the nation, and Eric Collins would have his biggest catch yet but get caught, and then later on the goal line, we would catch an out route pass, make a dive for the end zone, get hit, where the ball would later go out of bounds, but we would end up scoring 3 here. With both teams scoring at will and the TCU responding back on offense, we're going to have to put some more points up on every single drive, but our quarterback would throw an interception right here, a crucial one, and they would already be back inside of our 20-yard line. Out trailing by 4 after that crucial interception, we're looking for a big play on offense, and we would catch a big play, juke out multiple defenders, and go behind our blockers and get inside the 50 already, and Eric Collins is hyped. Looking to build off that big play, we're going to run a corner route right here and get wide open on the sideline, and we are already back in the red zone, but our coach would take us out of the game plan. Our quarterback would get sacked, and we'd have to settle for 3. On our next drive, now trailing by 4 points, we're trying to score a touchdown down here, and on our broken play, our quarterback would throw it to us, and on bad communication, he would throw an interception with 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining, and this is not looking good for the LSU team. Our defense would give us a chance after getting a stop and taking all the timeouts away. We need multiple big plays, and Eric Collins would get that, and then our quarterback would find our wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, wide open behind the safety, and we would go on to win this game. In our first game of the season, we beat the reigning champions, and also Eric Collins put up one of his best performances yet with 13 catches and 186 yards. This is looking like a great start to the year. After our great performance in week 1, our coach would later reward us with a position battle against Malik Neighbors where we could take that outside role we always wanted. There is nothing more that Eric Collins wants them to be the number 1 wide receiver on this team, and he would do so in the first 2 reps of this practice. He would take a touchdown all the way to the crib and basically lock in that wide receiver role with only 2 plays of practice. Out being number 1 on the depth chart, we would be taking on the UAB Blazers in our first game of the season. Eric Collins is looking to start off hot as he would be found on a post route right over the middle, and we are already in enemy territory and also searching for our first touchdown of the season. Trying to capitalize off the big play, we're going to freestyle a route in the end zone after we see a wide open seam, and Eric Collins is going to have the easiest touchdown of his collegiate career in his first one with LSU. Our chemistry with our quarterback as a wide receiver 1 on the outside is much better than it was in the slides. That's all we did in the offseason was practice routes from this side of the field, and we were continuing to dominate in this game even on the second drive. UAB would get us to a 3rd down, and our quarterback would give us a shot against a 1v2, and we would miss a one-handed catch, and we're going to later have to settle for a field goal, which we do miss. It almost felt like Jaden Daniels was only looking our way as he kept on throwing us the ball, and we were coming down with it on 1v2 situations all game long, but Jaden Daniels would chuck up a ball on the right side of the field and throw his first interception of the season, and this is not looking good. Jaden Daniels looking to bounce back on the next drive. He would throw an interception while trying to hit us on a corner route, and the timing was just off there, and he threw his 2nd interception of the game. And then later in the 3rd quarter, he would look to scramble, and he would have his 3rd turnover of the game as he would later fumble in the red zone. Despite having a terrible offensive game, we only trail by 1 point with 2 minutes left, and we need to put a money drive to go ahead and win this game. And Jaden Daniels would look to hit us on a post route and throw his 3rd interception of the game, and this one almost feels like it's over. Despite having another great game with 144 yards, Eric Collins and the LSU Tigers would take their first loss of the season to the Blazers, and man, this one hurts. Feeling comfortable already as an outside wide receiver 1, our offense did stagnate a little bit this game as we had multiple turnovers, and we're going to have to rebound in our game 3 against the Kent State Golden Flashes. Eric Collins wouldn't see much action in this game until we were trailing by 10 points late in the 2nd quarter, and we're looking to put some points on the board. He would catch a hitch, break a couple tackles, and pick up an easy 1st down. With only 54 seconds remaining in the first half, we were looking to get points up on the board quickly correctly, and we're going to get a shot down the sideline, and that's going to be a huge play that would get us in range to run this corner out and score our first touchdown of the game, and we are cutting this lead down to only 3. Kent State would keep on leaving us wide open down the sideline, but this time, instead of getting tackled by the safety, we would have a free path to the end zone, and we would finally take the lead in this game, and Eric Collins is dancing all over the opponents. He's feeling himself. Now playing with the 4-point lead, we need to put some more points on the board because one touchdown can almost do it for this one. And we are going to have a great drive once again as we found ourselves carrying our team all the way inside the 10-yard line where our quarterback would later punch it in. And it almost felt like this game was over. That late touchdown would be the dagger in this game. And we would go on to beat the Kent State Golden Flashes. And Eric Collins would have his first 200-yard and 2-touchdown game from the outside position. And it's looking like this position switch is working. In our next matchup, we're going to be taking on a 3-0 Auburn team. And Eric Collins is going to get a ball thrown up to him by Jaden Daniels. He's going to grab it, break a tackle, and score very early in this one, and we already have a 7-point lead. Our special teams would bless our offense up with great field position after a turnover, and Eric Collins is looking for his second touchdown of the game, and he will get it on this next play as he finds himself wide open in the back of the end zone. Everything was going our way this game as we would score our 3rd touchdown in the first quarter, and we would coast to an easy victory against the Auburn Tigers, and we were looking to start heating up on the season, and Eric Collins would even get his first player of the game as he finishes with 30 touchdowns and 100 yards. Nothing we did in the first 4 games would matter as we would be taking on the #1 Georgia Bulldogs in our next matchup, and we're going to have to lock in right here. The Georgia offense would score on their first possession of the game, so we were looking to do so on ours as well, and Eric Collins would pick up an easy first down, but he is down for the count and injured already in the first drive. Eric Collins would make his return back in the game at 37 seconds remaining in the first half, and we would freestyle after a broken play and pick up a first down already. With only 1 timeout on the board, we need to do everything we can to preserve time and try to get at least a touchdown on the board, and we're going to get out of bounds on the next play, but our quarterback is going to get sacked and the time is going to tick all the way out and we're going to leave empty-handed on this drive. Luckily, we got the ball first in the second half, so we're looking to dominate on offense, and Eric Collins is going to find himself wide open down the sideline once again, and we are already in enemy territory. Despite the big play, we are going for a 3rd and 13, and this is our only hope of converting, and we are going to miss it, and we have to kick the ball once again. Now deep into the 4th quarter and trailing by 21 points, we need a miracle to come back into this game, and Eric Collins is going to drop the ball right out of his hands and miss a wide open touchdown. Now trying to get back on the next play, we're going to run right by the corner and get wide open once again, but Jaden Daniels is going to miss us for our 2nd time in a row, and we are visibly upset. After struggling to hit on the long ball, we are going to do it once again on the next drive, and Jaden Daniels is going to finally hit us right in our chest, and we're going to score on a big play touchdown and cut this lead down to 14 points, and we need a miracle to get back into this one. Eric Collins was starting to develop into one of the best deep ball wide receivers in the entire nation as we would catch another ball down the sideline, get our team within the red zone, and we would end up scoring on this next play in a passing play, and we are somehow right back into this game. Defense would carry us all 4th quarter long as they would string together more stops, but our quarterback would fumble the ball and turn it over on our money drive, and we would later lose to the #1 Georgia Bulldogs. We put up a great fight, had a lot of missed opportunities, but that was still a great game all along from Eric Collins. Moving forward to later in the season, we would finish the year off at 7-2 and end on a hot streak, but we do have one last game before any type of bowl game, and that's going to be against Alabama. Eric Collins was always excited to play these big games as they were another chance to prove NFL scouts wrong that he could play every single position in the wide receiver role. Our offense was playing really good early against Alabama, getting inside the 15 already, but on the next play, we had a miscommunication. We thought we were open more than we were, and the linebacker was going to jump and get an interception on the first drive of the game. Our defense would get the ball back right away, and we would end up scoring literally 2 plays later right after the interception, and we were back on top. With Alabama scoring and tying the game on up, we were looking to run our best route of the years. We found ourselves wide open by over 10 yards. That would later set us up for a touchdown try right here, where Eric Collins would get a crazy acrobatic touchdown, and we are dominating this game early against a powerful opponent. Alabama would go on a run and take a 3-point lead, but late in the 3rd quarter, we're looking to put some more points in the board, and we're going to get targeted down the sideline once again, catch a contested ball with one hand, and that was a huge grab. Our offense would later stall out, and we were on a 3rd and 7, and we would dump it down and not be able to convert, and we are looking to punt the ball again. This is not looking good for us. Now trailing by 2 possessions with under 2 minutes remaining, we have all our timeouts, so we need to score fast right here, but on the next play, our quarterback's going to underthrow the ball so badly right here, have an interception, and this game is basically over. Although we took another loss on the season, our third one yet, Eric Collins had another big performance against a powerful school, and this is looking like a good resume for this NFL upcoming draft. After receiving our third loss of the season, LSU would still squeak in for a bowl game, but we would finish off with a great season, having 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. But like I said, we do have that bowl game remaining still. After finishing the season off as the number 15 ranked team, this would be our last game ever in college as a wide receiver, and we would be taking on Miami, where we would start off hot, getting a pass over the middle and taking it for around 20 yards. Although we caught the first pass of the game, we wouldn't see much more in the air in the first drive, but we would score with our running back and take an early 7-point lead in the bowl game. Our quarterback is going to miss us next season, so he told us in the huddle that he was going to throw us the ball a lot this game, as we went up and caught it on 2 people right there, and now playing with the 14-point lead, he would find us wide open over the middle once again like he did on the first play, and Eric Collins is enjoying his last game. The offensive domination would continue all the way into the second half, as we would find ourselves wide open on a drag route and take it for another 15 plus yards right here that would end up leading us to another touchdown in this game, and we have a 21-point lead in the third. Now heading into the fourth quarter, our offense would punch it in with another running back play up the middle, and we would go on to win the bowl game. The Peach Bowl was definitely not as good as the College Football Championship last year, but definitely still a good game to end on right before the NFL draft. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to turn those noties on and hit that subscribe button, as we're going to be taking Eric Collins into the draft in the next video.